Today I build the Malcolm Mooncaster, so stick around. Hey everybody, it is Aaron at Warmoth, and this is a Warmoth Mooncaster body, and this is a Warmoth Hombre neck. And you may be looking at this and thinking, that doesn't look like any Mooncaster I've ever seen. And that's because I did something a little different. I have two personal guitar heroes. One of them is Eddie Van Halen, which would come as no surprise to anybody that watches the channel pretty much ever. And I'm not very unique in that. There are a lot of fans of Eddie Van Halen out there. The other one is Malcolm Young, and I just love everything about Malcolm. I just love that he was fine with pretty much staying as a rhythm guitar player. I love that he would stand in the back of the band and just lock down the rhythm like a machine, and do, walk up to sing backing vocals and then go back to the back of the stage and lock the rhythm down again. And he was content to let Angus have the spotlight. I just love that aspect of him. And I was actually the Malcolm in an AC/DC tribute for many years. And it was one of the funnest things I've ever done in my musical career. I loved being able to not have to worry about leads, not have to worry about, acting crazy or whatever. I just got to stand back there with the bass and drums and lock down that rhythm, and it was a blast. One thing that a lot of people may not know is that before the Gretsch Malcolm Young signature model that they make now, that's kind of all beat up looking and stuff, before that came along, Gretsch used to make a Malcolm Young model that was pristine and perfect looking. And that's the one I played in my AC/DC tribute. Here's some pictures of me playing that. And it was never one that I owned, actually. It was on a long-term loan to me from somebody else who owned it. So I got to play that while I was in that band. When I was done with that band, I gave it back, which, tore a piece of my soul away that will never be recovered. But I loved that guitar. It sounded awesome, and I made a lot of good music and played a lot of gigs with it. And so I had this idea. I thought, why don't I make the closest guitar that I can to that original Gretsch Malcolm Young signature model using Warmoth parts? And so the first thing I did was I went back and found the specs of that Gretsch, that original Gretsch Malcolm Young model, copied down all the specs, and then I went through the Warmoth Warmoth catalog and looked at how I could go about doing it. And the obvious choice for the body is this. This is a Warmoth Mooncaster body, and the Mooncaster body is an interesting body. It's obviously kind of based on the Fender Starcaster, but it's different. It's smaller. I would describe it this way. What our 7/8 S style is to a Stratocaster body, that's what the Mooncaster body is to the Fender Starcaster. It's just a little smaller, a little shrunken down in all aspects. The difference between that and the 7/8 is that this uses normal necks, whereas the 7/8 bodies have to use 7/8 necks. But yeah, it's like a Starcaster, but it's shrunken down. And then, of course, you're going to see some options on this that you don't normally see on our Mooncaster bodies because I'm trying to make it like the Malcolm Young signature. The first one is I opted for no F-holes. It's still chambered, but it just doesn't have any F-holes. The other thing you'll notice is that the top is plain maple. And that's not something we typically offer on our website. Usually if you get a maple top, it has to be flame or quilt or sometimes bird's eye. But if you call in, you can get a plain maple top off menu. So that's what I did on this one. And then of course it's got the cream binding all around. One thing you'll notice if you know anything about Malcolm Young at all is he's very famous for playing Filtertrons. I have this one routed for a Humbucker. And I will explain that in a minute. But first, let's talk about the neck. This is the neck I chose. It was as close to those original specs as I could. This is a Warmoth Hombre neck. It has the Hombre headstock shape. It's got a mahogany shaft wood and an ebony fretboard wood. Now, Malcolm Young's guitar had like these half moon or like fingernail inlays across the top edge, and we don't offer that, so I just opted for no markers. I figured that would be the closest look that I could. It's got matching cream binding all the way around it, but then of course I had all the other specs done to my preferences. So it's got a straight 12-inch radius, it's got a 1.650 nut width, it's got the standard thin profile, it's got the stainless steel frets. So it's going to play exactly the way I like my guitars to play, but it's going to be in appearance as close as I could get to the Malcolm Young model. Now let's go back to that bridge pickup I was talking about. I'm going to be using a TV Jones Classic in mine. This is routed for a humbucker. I did that on purpose, and here's why. The TV Jones Classic that Warmoth sells is the universal mount. That means that you can mount it in the traditional way with a screw through the pickup, or TV Jones includes these little wings that you can add on the side so it mounts like a standard humbucker. That's what I'm going to do. And then we also sell this little ring, so you can mount a TV Jones pickup into this ring and then put it in a standard humbucker mounting. And I'm doing that because I wanted a ring around the pickup like Malcolm's has. So that's what I'll be using for the pickup. And then for the bridge, I'm going to be using a one-piece post-mounted bridge, which is what Malcolm used. This is the Gotoh Wraparound bridge. And you can see that it's just got one set of posts, and that was the closest bridge that we offer to the one Malcolm used. So that's kind of my thinking. That's why I chose the parts I did. One other thing that I forgot to mention on the neck is this is a Gibson scale conversion neck. So it is, so the scale of this guitar when it's done will be 24 3/4 inches. Anyway, I'm excited to put this together and give it a strum. So let's do that right now. And there you have it. There it is in all its glory. And I have to admit that I had a lot of fun with this build. This is one of the funnest builds I've done in a while, just because it has so many components to it that aren't things I usually do builds with. You know, from the Mooncaster body to the Hombre neck to the Gotoh Wraparound bridge, the TV Jones Classic. The neck is a Gibson scale conversion neck. There was just so many things here that it wasn't just, you know, putting together another guitar that I kind of knew how was going to turn out. And I think it turned out great, actually. This is not neck heavy. I was a little worried that it would be neck heavy, but with the Gibson scale conversion neck on it, it is not neck heavy in the slightest. And that is with locking tuners. So I would imagine that if you put a longer neck on it, the standard Fender scale, and don't use locking tuners, it's still going to be fine. But we'll have to build one and find out at some point. But I can tell you with the Gibson scale conversion neck, it is not neck heavy in the least, even with locking tuners. The body is nice and resonant. It still has that knock that a chambered body has, and you can hear it when you play. The TV Jones pickup has that classic clangy sound of a Filtertron style pickup. I love it. This is something I had already experienced before, actually, on the other Malcolm, but wraparound bridges. Anytime that you stick the string through the bridge that way and then crank it over to head back that direction, the strings take a long time to stretch in because you're bending that really rigid part of the string where it's double wrapped around the ball end. And so it just takes a long time to settle in. So yeah, this took... You know, I had to tune up to pitch and stretch and tune up to pitch and stretch quite a few times to get these things to finally settle in. But now that they have settled in, it's a rock solid bridge. It stays in tune great. It is kind of reminiscent of the one from the Malcolm model. It has a very Les Paul kind of feel in that everything stands up so high from the body. You know, it's a post-mounted bridge, so that's the idea. That it stands up really high, and anytime you get a bridge that's post-mounted or any other kind of high bridge, you have to also get the angled neck pocket, and our builder does that automatically for you. If you spec a bridge that needs it, it will automatically add the angled neck pocket. It's just an intrinsic part of the bridge route. And this does have that, which again makes it feel very less polished because you've got the really high bridge, the high mounted pickups, and then the neck angles backwards, which it's a very slight angle, but by the time it's, you know, extrapolated all the way down here to the end, it's just got that feel of the neck coming back kind of into your hand like a Les Paul. So overall, I'm really happy with this. I mean, does it look exactly like the Malcolm Gretsch? Of course not. It's never going to. But I think it definitely has all the right ingredients and gets you into that ballpark. Love the binding all around. Love the ebony neck. Just a fun build. You know, like I said, not exactly a Gretsch, but not like really anything else either. I think I will dubs it the Mooncaster. So that is it for the Mooncaster. Like I said, I had a ton of fun. I hope it answered some of your questions about these various parts. If you still have questions about the bridge, pickups, the body, the neck, any of it, go to the Warmoth website. It's all there. If you still have questions, give our customer service reps a call. They are always eager to help. And until then, dang it. And until next time, keep on picking.